Nicole never imagined things would spiral out of control so quickly. But after that fateful night, when rage took over and she acted on impulse, everything had fallen into an irreversible downward spiral. She had attacked Leslie. That was undeniable, but to Nicole, it was the result of provocation, of being pushed to her limits after endless days of tension. Yet, Leslie wasn't just a victim. She was the orchestrator, the one holding the reins of this entire drama. Leslie seized every opportunity to turn a slap into a criminal case, to transform a confrontation into a social indictment. She recounted everything to the police, to doctors, to anyone willing to listen. Her trembling voice carefully calculated, her teary eyes and fragile posture painting the picture of a deeply wounded woman. The faint bruises on her neck and arms, which Nicole knew were superficial, were displayed with pride, like trophies, irrefutable evidence of a violent assault. No concealed, no attempt to hide them, just that expectant look and a readiness to escalate things as far as they could go. Leslie didn't just want Nicole to be ashamed or remorseful. She wanted to destroy her, to crush her completely, both publicly and behind closed doors. She hired a lawyer, not to reconcile but to sue. The charges were spelled out clearly, one by one: assault, intentional infliction of injury, severe emotional distress. Medical records, police reports, statements from a few bystanders, people who didn't know the full story but were swayed by Leslie's tearful eyes and convincing voice, were compiled into a neat, airtight case file. No loopholes, no weaknesses. Nicole was cornered. She was stunned not only because her moment of anger had been blown out of proportion, but because Ted, her ex-husband, was starting to waver. He had once stood by her, once believed she wasn't someone who could hurt others easily. But now, in his eyes, there was doubt. Nicole no longer saw the trust she used to know. She saw a distance, a faint wall, not built by her actions, but by Leslie's whispers. And that wasn't the end of it. Leslie began leaking information to the public. Anonymous blog posts appeared. Cryptic social media updates spread like wildfire. A so-called influential woman was described as attacking a vulnerable woman in a diner. No names, no photos, but enough for the Fairmont Crest community to understand what was happening. Nicole felt the world turn its back on her. Old friends stopped calling. Colleagues avoided her gaze. Community events, where she had once been a familiar and respected face, now felt cold, filled with suspicion. Leslie entered each of those spaces with her delicate appearance, but her eyes never hid their triumph. She kept fueling the fire. Doctor visit after doctor visit. First once, then twice. Then 3 times. Vague, unverifiable symptoms, insomnia, anxiety, PTSD, were carefully listed as though she were building a psychological indictment meant to hold Nicole responsible for it all. Then came the demand for financial compensation, sent to Nicole's lawyer, bearing a sum large enough to financially cripple an entire family. But even that wasn't the fatal blow. That meant she could no longer visit her favorite restaurant, attend city council meetings where they used to work side by side, or even enter the community center, where Nicole had led countless civic campaigns and earned the community's trust. Her career, if it could still be called that, was crumbling. No more speaking invitations, no more conferences, no more familiar gatherings, only suspicious glances, hushed gossip, and conversations that abruptly ended when she walked in. Ted avoided her. Their children were confused. Nicole no longer had a place, no standing. All that remained was herself, alone in the aftershocks of a storm Leslie had unleashed. Meanwhile, Leslie, playing the part of the wounded woman, continued her game. She didn't stop. Each week brought another piece for her legal puzzle. Every hospital visit further validated her story. Each media appearance was a calculated performance. She didn't need to shout to be believed. One tear, shed at the right moment, in the right place, was all it took. The public did the rest. To the world, Nicole was now the woman who had lost control, a violent figure hiding behind a moral facade. No one remembered what she had done for the community, how she had led countless movements. All of that was drowned out by one slap and a few bruises. And Leslie? She was now the living embodiment of resilience, a woman who had suffered abuse and was reclaiming her voice. She manipulated everything with terrifying finesse. And what truly scared Nicole wasn't the loss of reputation, career, or even Ted. It was the sense that she was being erased, bit by bit, from everything she once belonged to. Leslie didn't just want to win. She wanted Nicole gone. No apologies. No reconciliation. No chance for redemption. Only a cold, relentless pursuit, step by step, until Nicole had nothing left. To outsiders, Leslie was the victim. But in reality, she was the one holding the knife, each stab disguised with tears and a trembling voice. Nicole had realized that, but it was too late to turn the tide. And just when she thought things couldn't get worse, Leslie turned her sights on Bill, her former brother-in-law, who had been involved in Kenny's incident 2 years earlier, was now being dragged into the vortex. Nicole couldn't bear the way Leslie spoke of Bill with those icy eyes. She knew Leslie wouldn't stop. She would exploit every weakness, every shadow in their past as a weapon. Bill had once believed he was doing the right thing by taking care of Kenny that chaotic night. But now, that action would be twisted, dissected, and weaponized until he paid a price for it. Leslie had a way of turning everything to her advantage, and Nicole knew if she didn't stop her, Bill would be next. But what could she do? Every path was blocked. Every door that had once opened for her now slammed shut. All Nicole had left was the truth, but no one wanted to hear it. In this battle between emotion and reason, between tears and truth, between the manipulator and the manipulated, Nicole was losing. Not because she was wrong, but because no one believed her anymore. And meanwhile, Leslie, calm and calculating, was preparing her next move. To her, this game was only just beginning. You in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to TV Soap News and Spoilers for more updates on Beyond the Gates.